So I want to ask you, we've talked about this. We're going to finish this up with a little bit of sharing. We've talked about people who said they needed to serve. They didn't know where to serve. They weren't sure if they could find a spot to serve. So I'm going to ask you to pull that response card out that looks like this right now. And I'm just going to chat with you a little bit as the pastor here. Ask everyone to pull that card out, even if you already know, Pastor, I'm not going to do anything here. That's fine. Just pull the card out so you don't have to wear on your heart that you're not going to do anything here. That's okay. Actually, everyone's got one, so that way you can pretend. You can pretend. I did ask if anyone would make a paper airplane out of it last week, and I had somebody do that. I should have had that photo ready to share right now. It was somebody under the age of 14, in case you're wondering. So if you already serve, as we go over this, if you already serve, thank you. No one should serve out of guilt. But if there's someone that would, it would be those who already serve. Please don't respond with guilt. You don't need to. If we don't have people to serve in an area, then maybe God doesn't want us to do it. No reason to have guilt. What we're trying to do is recruit reinforcements. We're absolutely trying to recruit reinforcements. And I know what God can do in your life when you are not someone who comes in, sits up, and sits in a chair and just sits there, but somehow, some way, no matter how hard or challenging it is, and that's my role as a pastor, to find you get an opportunity to serve, even if you're even if, you're half the time here, half the time not, because you go to Florida in February. We can find a way for you to serve. So, real quick, what happens if you actually drop this card in the bucket? I'll tell you what happens. I call you. I call you something nice. I call you by your name, but I call you. And then after a conversation, we see, are you willing to be scheduled to shadow? I saw some people shadowing someone at the front door today. And then if after shadowing you're going, I want to serve that way, then we schedule you to serve. That's what happens. That's what happens. So if you haven't pulled this out, this is in the front seat in front of you, unless you're front row and you're awesome and you got one in your seat. Go ahead and pull that out. If you're starting to fill the card out, you can wait till we talk about each of these just a bit. But if you already serve in an area, no need to check it. Just put an R in there saying renew. You're re-enlisting. And the key question is, what's your Sunday serve? There's some ministries out here that are awesome, but they're not Sunday serves. In reality, if the Sunday doesn't go well and we don't have people serving on Sunday, most of those other ministries don't even exist because they're birthed out of a healthy local church. So we are asking everyone to have a Sunday serve. So let's start on the side that talks pastoral team. It's a two-sided thing. We'll start one that says pastoral team, altar team. That's something we're starting. That's a Sunday serve. Are you someone who's burdened for others and you like praying for other people and you're comfortable to pray for other people? Under the direction of our pastors, this team is going to go ahead and connect and believe with those who come to the altar for prayer. So it won't just be our pastors down front praying for people. If that's something you're interested in, mark that. There will be training required, and that does require the leadership honor code. That's the top right of this card here. That would be required for that team. We have a care team. Sometimes we have miscellaneous needs. Someone calls in, I'm going to make up a need that says, Pastor, I need someone to go pick up a prescription, but I can't do it because it's bad weather outside. Will you find someone to do it? We get those calls. How many of you want me to call you directly and say, will you go do that? Nobody does. And I'm not going to put any of you in a spot like that. But if you want to be part of a team that said, I'd be willing to be made aware of that need, then if I can do it, I would, mark the care team. What we do is we'd send out a message, maybe a text, maybe an email that says, hey, this is a need. Anybody want to run with that? So that way, you're not getting a direct phone call. Hospitality team, that's a Sunday serve. Cafe team, I think that's pretty obvious. Are you someone who's friendly and can not just hand out beverages? We can get robots to do that, but be friendly and see, smile, and say. Everyone that comes up, we could use people there. The team's rather full, but hopefully we'll get a new cafe soon. First impressions team, we call that our fit team. I realize that some people that don't know the fit team, they may think, well, I can throw a fit. I can be on the fit team. Different kind of fit. Some of you are going, I can do 20 push-ups. Zach, different kind of fit. Different kind of fit. Yeah. What we're looking for are people that when they walk in, they don't feel like an unwelcome interruption, but they feel like a welcomed guest. That's passing the buckets. That's at the door. Sometimes that's helping with communion. Mark that for first impressions team. Events team. That's for events planning. That's helping us with, not on-ramp, but helping us with new people party, helping us with when we have the situation of funeral meals, for other miscellaneous parties that we have. You're someone that likes to come in and decorate and theme. We'd love about a small team of people on that. M1 Kids Academy. Do you like kids, but in small doses? Like 2-hour doses? in the classroom or at recess or maybe at mealtime, if you'd want to come in and hang around at the daycare for about 2 hours, maybe once a month, and say, I can give 2 hours and give a teacher a respite break, that would be awesome. You can mark that. Under facilities, our transformation team meets on Tuesdays. That's pretty much why the building looks as good as it does all the way across it. Do you like to fix and repair things? And fix and repair them in a way where you take pride in its ownership. That's the transformation team. The deep clean team does the same thing, but they're more about refresh and renew as opposed to fix and repair, and they meet Thursdays. Let's flip it over. The M1 kids team, regardless of the age, whether that's nursery or kids junior or elementary, and Sunday and Wednesday, that's definitely a Sunday serve. That's kids in smaller doses. That's not 2 hours, it's about 90 minutes. So maybe you can handle 90 minutes. A check-in team, are you good with technology and make people feel welcome as they're walking in? When someone walks in have you ever walked into a church with little kids for the very first time? It's intimidating. It's intimidating. You feel like you're already an unwanted intruder. Someone that's on the check-in team, I saw Brett and Jennifer DeWeese doing this today, helping get some people checked in and putting them in there and getting their name tag and making those people feel welcome. It was John and Michelle making them feel welcome. And I finally got their names right. I did get your names right, didn't I? I thought so. Good. It's on recording now. Outreach team, not a Sunday serve, but an amazing team. Blessing in a backpack. That's a once-a-month serve. If you want to help us eliminate food insecurity to the kids at Sherman Elementary, check that. Operation Uplift has been on hold. It's been on hold because we haven't had a leader. And without a leader, we can't do anything. We're talking with someone right now that says they're willing to pray about being the leader. If they're willing to step into that, then we're ready to move forward. That container that's out there to the right of the garage base has 80 mattresses in it. 80. It's ready to go. We've got other people now that have learned the CNC router that we can go ahead and move forward on that. What we're needing is people that are willing to make the deliveries to homes where kids don't have beds in the North End, as well as handle the phone calls. You know, when people are in a situation where their kids don't have beds, the rest of their life is a little unstable and fragile as well. And it takes a lot of extra communication to set up an appointment to show up to help them. The worship music team, pretty obvious on the platform, requires audition. That pretty much scares everyone away, including me. And leadership honor code is required on that. That's the top right. Production team. You like bringing things to life and pressing the buttons. That one serves on a regular basis, once to twice monthly. And then if you're one of those tech guys, if you dreamed of being in the Geek Squad at some point in your life and you thought it was not an insult, but you think geek or nerd is actually a compliment, social media graphics team, are you a photographer? We have an event coming up, we have Connect Sunday coming up. We'd love to have some great photos of that. We have a Fall Fest coming up in October. We'd love some great photos from that. And then the last one is a network IT team. If you get geeked out when I tell you we have 50 IP cameras, 11 dynamic IP addresses, and 6 static, and if you know what that means, that might be for you. If you're going, Pastor, was that speaking in tongues? Do we need to pray for an interpretation? You're probably not ready for the network IT team. So what happens if you fill a card out like that and drop it in? You get a phone call from me. We have a low-key phone call about where would be an idea that you can serve the body, and how can we move that forward in getting you scheduled to shadow and scheduled to serve. If you already serve somewhere in this church regularly and you serve in this local church, on 3, would you simply say amen? 1, 2, 3. Amen. And we'd love for you to join us. We'd love for you to join us. Caleb, can you bring your team up, friend, at this time? Probably should have called you up a few moments ago, but that's all right. If you're looking at that and you're going, Pastor, where do you need people the most? Well, there's lots of places that we need people the most, but this is what I would challenge men. And I want to speak directly to those of the masculine persuasion. Men, I'm going to ask you a trick question because I don't think any of you can actually answer this. Are you ready? Can you name 3 men that positively influenced you in your life before junior high that were not family? I think it's a trick question because I don't know of a single man that probably can. Can you name one? I hope you can name one. I actually would have a hard time naming one. I'd have to think through maybe Mr. Myers, baseball coach. Maybe Mr. Myers. Men, there is not a single church in America that has too many men serving elementary age kids. There's not a single one. If you're going, I'm not sure where can I fit, if you could just be a role model for kids, especially boys in elementary age, of someone that when the teacher says, we're going to lift our hands in worship, you just lift your hands in worship and help that other kid not beat the other kid up right down for a moment, right? If you can be that and be that male presence there, you would have such an impact.